for the modern woman. Now, Coreen van der Merwe is a financial expert and managing director at Sovereign Trust SA. She joins us now from our Sea Point studios to help us understand all things to do with financial planning skills and that every modern woman should possess. Well, thank you very much for joining us and making the time to come on the show this morning. Let's start by talking about an article that you wrote, "A Man is Not an Investment Plan." Take us through to some of the things that you highlighted in that article.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, viewers. Thank you for having me. I think it's very important that financial planning is a skill that every modern woman today possesses. It won't just give you a feeling of independence, but it will also ensure that you take responsibility and control over your own financial well-being. And as you know, life happens, whether it's a divorce or a death of a husband. It will really help in a situation like that if you understand the world of finance and investments. And that was really the message that I wanted to get across.
A lot of women are pretty much intimidated by finances and things that have to do with how to handle money. And I think a lot of it is culturally ingrained, if I could put it like that, because a lot of the times we were always taught that the man is the head of the household, the man is the provider, the man in our lives is always responsible for the finances or the running of the finances within a household. So how do we break away as the modern women from that school of thought and start creating new feelings about money and new ways for us to actually be in control of our finances?
I think over the years, the past couple of decades, definitely the past 20 years, women has been forced into the workplace. Life has become really expensive. And by us being in the workforce, it started to expose us more to the world of finance and the corporate world out there. So it's almost as if it happened automatically that women started to get more involved in the world of finance. And I've done a little bit of research, obviously, before writing this article, and there's definitely been a massive increase in, especially the millennial women, that is now participating in the world of finance and making their own investment decisions. And what is quite interesting is that statistics show that women are really good at it, sometimes even better than men. But I don't want it to make it a battle of the sexes. But it seems like we are growing in confidence, and our knowledge is also increased over the past couple of decades, definitely when it comes to the world of finance.
How do we as women get ourselves to a place where we're not intimidated by issues of finance and that we take more control and ownership of how we spend our money? What are some of the tips that you can give us?
Just in a nutshell, Paul, I would say start to save as early as you can. The effect of compound interest is absolutely astonishing. Take informed decisions when you are presented with various options by financial planners. Weigh up all the fees, make sure that you do your own research before you ultimately invest your funds into investment accounts. Take a long-term approach, and even though it might be very tempting, do not touch the savings in your retirement plans.
Now, we look at our current economic landscape, and it's pretty hard for people to save. People are looking at their current needs and trying to fulfill those. Some people even go as far as saying you can't save what you don't have. What is your response to those people?
I would say you have to start as young as you can to have the self-discipline to put a little bit of money away. Once you get into that, it almost becomes a little bit addictive, and you just have to have the self-discipline to start small. It doesn't matter how small you start, but you have to start saving as early as you can.
Talk to us about some of the misconceptions that are out there just in relation to women and money. I mean, I think one of the biggest is that all women care about are shoes, makeup and hair.
Oh, yes. I think it is definitely a big misconception that the world of corporate finance and investments is a man's world. Women take a different approach when it comes to the world of finances. I'm not going to lie. Good makeup and good hair products is important, but our financial well-being has become more important as it's not a standard that women has to get married nowadays. We don't have to depend on men to provide for our financial well-being anymore. When I've done my research, it was very clear to me that, as with many things in life, women take a different approach to investing. We take longer to make financial decisions, and then also we, apart from the fact that we take longer to make financial decisions, we also don't like to take risk. We are hoarders. We like to keep cash in bank accounts much rather than putting funds in high risk equity investments that might offer a return in the long run. We much rather like to have our cash close by.
Coreen, thank you so much for your time and sharing some of the insights with us this morning relating to women and money. That's financial expert and Managing Director at Sovereign Trust SA, Coreen van der Merwe, speaking to us about just financial freedom and stability for women and what it means. And that is all part of the teachings around Women's Month. It's time for us to take a quick break. Please stay with us.
We are saying similarly here, in a process which is intended to be impartial and independent, he should similarly recuse himself.
One can build conspiracies, and the fewer facts you have, the more easy it is to build conspiracies. And I suggest to you that when suggesting that there is some conspiracy about the witnesses were called, you might not have been aware of the facts that I've outlined to you.
Zimbabwe belongs to all Zimbabweans from all the four corners of Zimbabwe.
What a time! 1:54.26, another meeting record. She made it look effortless. Once again, Caster Semenya, no pacemaker required.